it looked like it was done last year. I didn't know if there was like a strict thing or if we were doing something different or.
Just whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, not very outlined.
Okay, perfect. I didn't know.
However the wind blows, that's what's gonna happen.
What's happening? What's happening? Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. Okay. Renee, do I have lipstick on my teeth?
No.
No.
It seems like something out of like a.
Oh, good, it moves. Okay, we'll do that. And then there's a walkway too. Yes, because that is. Just in case. Oh yeah, that's good.
Okay, so I think he said that he's ready for us whenever we're ready. So just let me know.
Yeah. And maybe you could like stand up there and just wait and people start to like settle down.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the 12th unveiling ceremony for the Wake Review magazine. I am Trisha Cason, and I work in the nonfiction department with my co-editor, Renee. I am over the moon to be able to present the Wake Review magazine to all of you gorgeous people this afternoon. As this is my first year being involved with the Wake Review magazine, I got to experience many new things and learned so much from each department I got to be involved with. My view on art and literature has been broadened. While there is no official theme for the magazine this year, as we go with the magazine, the raw emotion and familiarity of heartwarming sadness that develops in this year's published work are wonderfully beautiful, and my peers and I have worked diligently to produce this magazine, and we are so proud to share the final publication with you all today. I must speak also about the talented students who contributed their work to make this magazine possible. They will be receiving prizes for all of their hard work. I have loved working with all of the editors and advisors. The encouragement and creativity that flows through this organization is overwhelming, and all of the program continues. I believe that you will feel the same genuine connection of the Wake Review magazine that flows within each department. I would love to introduce my fellow editors and advisors at this time. Our advisors are Elizabeth Quirk and Emily Morris. Yes. And our department editors for fiction are Kelsey Bell and Gloria Siki. For multimedia and visual arts and photography, we have Miles Brown and Alyssa Davis. For nonfiction, we have me and Renee. And for poetry, we have Courtney Grace Nazier and Kendall Heffern. And our editors-in-chief are Anna Dean and Hannah Nelson. I will now be handing over to Emma.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you coming out for this issue, and we're so happy to have celebrated everyone's amazing work. Even if you didn't place, please submit next year. There's always a chance, and I'm so glad that everyone's here to celebrate with us. I'm only one of the editors-in-chief. I'm Emma. Unfortunately, Hannah could not be here with us tonight, so Hannah, if you're watching, hello. Thanks for all your hard work. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it.
Hello, my name is Kelsey Bell, and this is Gloria Sukidi. We serve as fiction editors for this edition of the Wake Review. This year, the Wake Review has been incredibly selective with the fiction category. In fact, we have only awarded 4 people spots in the magazine, not including the staff submission by yours truly. So, if you're an award winner for fiction, then you should be very proud of yourself. And that also goes to all the other winners in the other categories as well. Congratulations. Now, Gloria and I will announce the 2023 Wake Review winners and honorable mention for fiction.
Our first story not only showcased an uplifting message of growth and change, but made you feel as if you were standing next to the characters, seeing all that they could and experiencing all that they did. It was descriptive, intriguing, and put a positive spin on a sad occurrence. In third place, we have Sierra Clark's The Dead Horse. Is Sierra here to receive their award? Okay, that's fine. Hopefully you're watching from the live stream and you'll be able to receive your award through the mail.
So in second place, we have Layla Hatter's Web Mentality, which is a short story. This short story impressed us with its human element, as it reveals that its characters need each other's company more than what was initially thought in the beginning, which involved an interesting fear of spiders. Additionally, the quality of the writing is top-notch, and the theme of connection is timeless. Is Layla Hatter here to receive her award? Well then, give her a round of applause anyway.
Our next story is one sure to turn heads. With one of the most intriguing characters we've seen this year, this story had us eager to read the next page. It's well written, funny, and may have you wondering whether your mirror is actually a screen. In first place, we have Brendan Odell's Lilux Deluxe. Unfortunately, Brendan was unable to make it to our event today and read us his story, but we hope you are able to attend the live stream and enjoy your award, which will arrive in the mail.
Now I will introduce our honorable mention for the fiction category. The first and last honorable mention I will introduce is Charlie French for her short story Frost. This piece was immediately one of my favorites after I first read it. I love how much is revealed about the main character throughout the story, but it's not revealed in a direct way like all good writing does. I also love how temporary the main character's experiences are in the story, like the story is told through passing thoughts and not irreversible events. Is Charlie French here to receive their award and read their story? Well then, give her a round of applause anyway.
Now, please give a warm welcome to the multimedia, visual arts, and photography editors, Miles Brown and Alyssa Davis.
Hi. So I'm Melissa. This is Miles here. We had the pleasure today to see all the amazing multimedia artworks and various type of like sculptures and paintings that we had today. So we had a very, long run of honorable mentions and placements this year. I think we have about 4 mentions and then, of course, 4 placements with 1 submission from Miles himself. So without further ado, let's get started. Do you want to?
The first place award goes to Rachel Hansen, Burn and Melt. It is one of my favorite pieces. It is an emotional piece with red saturation, warm colors, yellow and white, and it is a work of art that displays a lot of emotion. Is Rachel here to take her award away? Okay, then give a round of applause. Our second place award for photography and multimedia art is Thomas McCarroll. It's called The Haunting Chair. It is a photography piece. It features a piece of a chair in the middle of an abandoned room that is in an abandoned home. Thomas McCarroll, would you like to take your award if you're here? Not here. Give him a round of applause. Anyway. Our third place award for photography and multimedia arts is Caitlin Crane. It is the anatomical heart drawing. It is a realistic picture and illustration of a heart with red colors and a lot of detailed line work. Caitlin Crane, are you here to take your award? Okay. Also, give her a round of applause. No, I got it. The honorable mention for multimedia arts and photography is Karen Hester. Tools of Our Hands. If you pick up our magazine, she is the cover of the book with a typewriter and a lot of sculpture and decorative coloring and tools in order to illustrate this piece of a typewriter in ancient times. Karen Hester, are you here to accept your award? Oh, you're here. Hey. Surprise. Another honorable mention, Marlon Johnson. It is called the Tangy Mellow Self-Portrait. It's a self-portrait of an African-American lady with an orange background. I personally love portraits and self-portraits and realism. So seeing one being published is a win for me. Marlon Johnson, do you want to take your award away? No? No, not here? Okay. Round of applause. Honorable mention for multimedia arts and photography, Natasha Fleek, Tigera Panthera. It is a picture of a sculpted tiger, one in the grasslands in a sunny background. It's made mostly out of cardboard and other mediums used for sculpture. Natasha, would you like to take your award? Give her another round of applause for being published. Speak.
All right. This mention goes out to Reflections by Michaela McMorrows. This is a wonderful digital artwork about a nice, beautiful purple background with a beautiful thing on the shorelines. It has a wonderful sense of detail and value to it. Of course, the water itself is mesmerizing. Mr. Michaela, are you here to accept your award today? All right.
Round of applause.
Sorry about that. All right, and then we have next up is Nathan Browning. He seems to have gone to Turkey for this beautiful piece. It's taking like a nice, beautiful pearl apartment. It seems to be bought in Istanbul, Turkey, and sorry. And it's one of our beautiful photographs today. Nathan Browning or anyone representing him, is he gonna be here to do your award? All right, round of applause. This one goes out to my wonderful editor, Miles, for Gods Among Us, a beautiful little portrait, digital artwork, showcasing.
Oh, you want me to speak? Okay. I decided to use elements of mythology into it and elements of nature into it. I used a dragon and a silhouette of the serpent gods, Quetzalcoatl, and then I used a behemoth that represents fire and an orca that represents water. It's one of my favorite pieces because I love mythology, and I love nature, and I love everything about life and natural elements. So I decided to go at it with it.
Oh, not this. And then we have one more from Mr. Miles himself called Static. Would you like to?
In the Chinese zodiac, I am the year of the rabbit, 1999, and rabbits are one of my favorite animals. My family and I live near a field of rabbits, and we come every day to see the rabbits greet us in our backyard. So I decided to make a rabbit because I love rabbits, and I love their faces, and they are the only ones that's in front of me every day when I go to school. So I just love rabbits in general. So thank you.
Now let's make room for nonfiction pieces and nonfiction editors.
Hi, everybody. So Karen, the artist who did our cover letter, would like to come up and talk about the cover letter to you all. So I'm going to invite her to come do that at this time. Karen, you can come up here whenever you're ready. So we can clip this to this pocket right here. And would you like to hold it, or it can't get in your hair? So you can either hold it or hold it, I guess. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Hi. Like most of you, I've been an avid reader my whole life. I've slain dragons, ridden dragons, broke curses and sailed on the Dawn Treader. And through all of those stories, it's made me see like our real world differently. And it's, I guess, been my experience that reading isn't escapism, although it does have a little bit of that in it too. But it really expands our world. It's expansive. So with that kind of in mind, this piece is part of a series that of really celebrating stories and authors and the world building that they do. So thank you to all of our authors.
Alright, and now you can maybe take. You have pocket, right?
I do have pocket. I'll put it on this side.
Okay, cool. Nice. Right on. Do me a favor and hold that. Hey folks, how you doing? It's a good day to celebrate some creative works, isn't it? Yeah. And can I just say, pause. Thank goodness for the warm weather. Yeah, it's just like something about the sun just really just makes you happier. So I'm glad that this spring is here. Anyway, my name is Renee. You know Trisha. We are the nonfiction editors. These people, in general, from all different walks of life and stages of life, everybody has poured their heart into their work. They poured their heart and soul, and they deserve to be celebrated. And so I'm just very excited to come here. We're doing this for the 11th time, by the way, so that's a big deal. So we're definitely here to celebrate that. They deserve every bit of recognition and prize money that they're going to receive. So we're excited to show you who we think really deserves that. So you're about to see and hear things that will mystify and stun you and hopefully inspire you, because we do have people reading for our section. So we're really excited to bring this to you. So for the first person, I'm gonna share. This was actually my jam. I think we forgot about, with everything going on in the world, and there's always just a new cause, a new cause, a new cause. We forgot about AIDS. We forgot what happened there. We forgot the people that we lost. We forgot just in general, it just exists, right? Let's find out about it. Let's do a deep dive on it. So for first place is Causes of the HIV/AIDS Epidemic by Leah McCroy. Is she here? Hey, hey! Fantastic. Well, congratulations. And there's your gum. Yes. I'm gonna mic you up, bro. You have a pocket. Like a professional.
Okay, see how this works. Hello, thank you for the welcome. My name is Leah McRoy. I'm a high school senior participating in the Career and College Promise program at Wake Tech to complete my high school graduation requirements. I will be attending UNC Chapel Hill as a freshman this fall to double major in Russian and political science with a minor in creative writing. And I'm the recipient of the National Army ROTC 4-year scholarship with the UNC Battalion. I'm so thankful to be able to be here to present this article that I wrote. I'm honored to have received first place for my nonfiction essay, The Causes of the HIV/AIDS Epidemic, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to speak on this very important topic. Although many health, political, and gay leaders fought for and succeeded in slowing the spread of the disease, there is still quite a lot of misinformation about the HIV virus, about transmission and treatment, which has led to stigma surrounding the disease. It is important to recognize that such stigma is often rooted in fear, which, in the absence of proper education and reliable dissemination of information, can spread rapidly across a population, like it did in the 1980s. I wrote this paper to educate people about the history of HIV/AIDS and to reduce the uncertainty surrounding the disease, which still exists today. Many people treat HIV as a thing of the past, but there remain millions who live with the disease and who die from it, especially in developing countries that are underserved in their access to proper health care and HIV education. It's important that we continue to focus on this issue and not to relegate it to history. HIV/AIDS has not been eradicated, and there is not a vaccine or a cure for it. Medication has extended life expectancy with the disease, especially in developed countries, but awareness and education need to be always present in our educational systems. HIV/AIDS is not just a disease for a particular lifestyle or geographic area. It is a human disease, and I care about it because I am human. It should be that simple for all of us everywhere. I would like to thank you all very sincerely for this award. I would also like to thank my Wake Tech English professor, Laura Ingram, who inspired me to submit this paper for consideration. I have learned so much from my time at Wake Tech and feel that I am much more prepared for my time at UNC than I would be without my experience here. I'm honored to have been a part of this community, and thank you. Now I will read an excerpt of my paper for you and hope you will enjoy the full piece in the Wake Review. Oh my goodness, sorry. The HIV/AIDS epidemic remains one of the most controversial health crises in recent history, but many Americans are still uninformed about the specific causes of the epidemic. HIV first caught doctors' attention in mid-1981 in a handful of young gay men from New York and San Francisco, and the virus soon affected thousands of people across the country and abroad. Though many health, political, and gay leaders fought to slow the spread of the disease, the tragic course of HIV/AIDS epidemic was ultimately furthered by delayed and inefficient action from public officials, a lack of access to life-saving medication, and widespread misinformation purported by mainstream journalists and media outlets. Delayed action and inefficient policies from health, public, and gay officials contributed to the severity of the HIV/AIDS epidemic. The renown of discovering the root cause of HIV caused many doctors to keep quiet about their discoveries until they could have them published in scientific journals. Such secrecy hindered effective communication between health professionals and patients in high-risk communities. Politicians also hindered efforts to contain the growing epidemic by refusing to allocate funding to organizations such as the CDC and the National Institute of Health. Two men, Congressman Phil Burton and Representative Henry Waxman, advocated for spending bills that increased funding for AIDS research. However, despite the push for emergency funding and congressional action, the congressmen were hindered by the uncooperativeness of the Reagan administration, which was hostile toward spending increases. Additionally, the gay communities across America both helped and harmed the effort to slow the epidemic. For the gay community, which has historically faced widespread discrimination, the newfound political and sexual freedom of the 1970s and early 80s was fiercely protected. Any restriction was viewed as a step backward. However, much of the social and medical progress accomplished during the HIV/AIDS epidemic would not have happened without constant pressure from activists within the gay community. Secondly, the astronomical cost of AZT, as well as the shortage of the drug, contributed to the high number of AIDS-related deaths. British pharmaceutical company Burroughs Wellcome finally brought AZT to the market. However, the price of the drug soon put to shame any celebratory sentiment. Lastly, widespread misinformation, and trivialization from media outlets undermine national AIDS education efforts, causing many people to be uninformed about behaviors that put them at risk of contracting HIV. Many journalists are wary of critiquing the gay community for fear of provoking homophobia from many conservative spots across the nation. The combination of socially reservist reporting, gross misinformation, and the reluctance by major news outlets to make AIDS a front-page story caused the American public to draw false conclusions about HIV/AIDS. The HIV/AIDS epidemic was not caused by one person or organization, but by a complicated web of decisions, policies, and professionals who were tasked with facing down one of the most politically controversial epidemics in history. Inadequate action from public officials, limited access to life-saving medication, and misinformation from the media all contribute to the scope and severity of the epidemic. However, the heroic efforts of doctors, politicians, and community leaders to present AIDS as a fundamentally human issue ultimately triumphed over a decade of adversity and ignorance.
Thank you so much. All right. Not too shabby. There you go. I was about to totally, but I'll hold that like that. What did I tell you? Mystify.
Good stuff.
Okay, so our second place winner is one that really keeps you like hanging on to the edge of your seats. We had a lot of sadness and a lot of, immense problems within that were spoken about in a lot of our pieces today. And I think this one is one that a lot of people are really talking about right now. I think it has a lot of traction in a lot of the communities. And so I would like to welcome Calissa Redpath up here to talk about trippy trauma, aka psychedelic PTSD.
Yeah, I got you. Congratulations. And we'll grab. Oh, how do you click that?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
For real, yeah. You gotta. Oh,
We can probably like prop it right
yeah,
here.
you want to
honestly,
like
if
stay
you could do it,
real
yeah.
still right here, and then we're just gonna mini mic.
I might clip this. There we go. Cool.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is, or not. My name is Clarissa Redpath, and I graduated in 2020. I plan on majoring in industrial design. So I would like to reiterate that I do not condone the use of illegal drugs, and I only condone the use of psychedelics in front of a licensed professional. Trippy trauma, aka psychedelic PTSD, is about psilocybin mushrooms' bright future when looking at their historical significance, scientific attributes, and their PTSD relief today. The reason why I wrote this is because many of my friends struggle with post-traumatic stress disorder, including myself. It is important to give awareness of this issue and to see that there is new groundbreaking research about a permanent treatment for PTSD. To read this brings awareness of this issue and their medicinal possibilities, and to kill that stigma of psychedelics being a horrible illegal drug. The excerpt that I'm about to read is scientific attributes, which proves how psychedelics are useful for PTSD relief. Psilocybin mushrooms have a bright future when looking at their scientific attributes. Different doses will give different effects, and trips will commonly last 6 hours. A microdose is any measurement of mushrooms below 1 gram. An average trip is 3.5 grams, and a heroic trip is 5 or more grams of mushrooms. Psilocin is a psychoactive chemical compound in mushrooms that scientists now study and believe has the potential use to help mental issues such as post-traumatic stress disorder. Psilocin latches onto dopamine and serotonin receptors located in the areas of the brain that are responsible for mood and anxiety disorders as the prefrontal cortex. Dr. Henry Isaac Color-Lau, a pharmaceutical and medicinal chemist at Harvard University, and his authors happily explain the positive reactions of psilocin with serotonin receptors. Classic psychedelic drugs interact with the serotonin receptors and their subtypes that are densely located within the brain. These receptors mediate emotions and moods such as anxiety and aggression, cognition, sex, learning, memory, appetite, and along with other biological, neurological, and neuropsychiatric processes. Dr. Caroline Treaty Golden, a neurologist at the UC Health University of Colorado Hospital, and her co-author, Dr. Paul Chatterton, a neurophysiologist at the University of Bristol, interestingly observed psilocybin lowers spectra power of the delta, theta, and alpha range, and the transition to higher gamma power in the cortex. So psilocybin increases spiking and alters neural assemble activity in the ACC, which is the anterior cingulate cortex. The ACC processes negative emotions such as fear and anxiety. If the injection of psilocybin increases activity in the ACC, lowers local field potential, the spectral waves, and increases serotonin, then one must believe it may help process trauma. Some say magic mushrooms allow the user to see a trauma through a different perspective and be processable. Dr. Roland Griffith, a pharmaceuticologist at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, boastfully states, psychedelics work on the default mode network. These high-level aspects of the brain, the default mode network houses the self and the assumptions about the self. Dr. Lau and his colleagues suggest that psilocybin may even influence brain plasticity as confirmed by the persisting positive effect in increased amygdala response to positive emotional stimuli up to 1 month post-psilocybin treatment. So, the belief that one is seeing events from a different perspective and that it's easier to process these events is scientifically true. Many Americans are skeptical of any of the hundreds of different magical mushrooms being legalized because of the hypotheses that this illegal drug could be addictive. Dr. Lau and his co-authors boldly defend, of all psychedelic drugs, psilocybin is reported to have the most favorable safety profile. Some say that tripping on mushrooms is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that changes them forever and doesn't need to be repeated often, if ever. The science of psilocybin mushrooms shows that this fungus can allow a person to see trauma from a different perspective and process trauma with a better brain plasticity in 6 hours without risk of addiction. Currently, psilocybin mushrooms have a bright future when looking at their scientific attributes. The reason why I read this part is because I wanted you guys to have a new perspective on the medicinal value of psychedelics. In doing so and telling everyone about the scientific attributes of it helps change that stigma and create a social environment for us to talk about the possibility of a permanent treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder. I would like to thank Wake Review for giving me the opportunity to give a speech and for giving me this award and allowing me to be in print. I would also like to thank my teacher, Dr. Wachowski, for believing in me and encouraging me to apply even when I didn't want to. And I would also like to thank my parents for giving me a proper private education. I don't think I would be able to write this paper without that. And finally, I would really like to thank you guys for listening to my speech. Thank you.
You're a pro at that. All right, so we've got our third place. Is Malak Abu Hamid? Are you here?
Yeah. How can we pronounce your name?
Please.
It's Malak Muhammad.
Folks, we just witnessed history today. Come on up here and get your award. we going to hear a little bit of it too? Oh, yay. Oh, let's.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
artwork.
I'll just hold it.
We'll put it
Okay,
over here if that's
fine.
okay.
Yeah, we're like all attached to each other.
Right there you go, and then
we
we've
can
got.
put this up here. Okay,
Oh,
awesome.
okay.
Hello everyone, I'm Malaka Muhammad and I'm the author of Metal Bars for Gold Bars, America's Peculiar Problem. I'm currently a junior at Wake Early College of Health and Sciences and I will be majoring in biology with a minor in forensic science. And I'm set to graduate in May of 2024 with both my high school diploma and my associate's degree. So to start off with this whole thing, I just want to say that I did not even know that the Wake Review existed. I was encouraged to submit this by my Professor Keeley, and she told me that she loved my paper and that I should submit it to this paper, to this magazine, and here I am today. So, my essay, which I'll refer to as Metal Bars for Gold Bars for short, discusses the expanding school-to-prison pipeline in America and how the emergence of private prisons is tied directly to this issue. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the school-to-prison pipeline, it is basically the education and public safety policies that push students into the criminal legal system. This essay was written with the intention of providing practical solutions to the problem in response to the recent uproar about the various impacts of the pipeline. The solution I proposed through my thesis was, by foregoing funding for constructing private prisons, the government can prioritize financial investments to raise public education criteria to prevent minorities in schools from being overwhelmingly targeted for incarceration through the school-to-prison pipeline. Now I'll read some of it. Okay. So, in my essay, I wrote, the extreme sanctions put in place by hundreds of schools across the nation contribute to predestining a life of imprisonment for students victimized by these regulations. Private prisons critically contribute to the school-to-prison pipeline by disciplinary influence. Disciplinary techniques such as suspension, silent lunch, and detention are all derived from tactics used on inmates in prisons, such as solitary confinement, confiscation of items, segregation, and removal of accumulated good behavior time. Current disciplinary patterns are closely related to declining academic performance, lower standardized test scores, declining graduation rates, decreased school attendance, and falling educational enrollment rates. Authors Hemmes and others of Exploring the School-to-Prison Pipeline, How School Suspensions Influence Incarceration During Young Adulthood, note that the exclusionary discipline has also been linked to directly higher dropout rates, higher levels of grade retention, missed class time, extended graduation delays. When including socioeconomic and contextual factors in the mixed effects model, suspensions during grades 7 through 12 significantly raise the recorded chances of imprisonment in early adulthood by 288%. Rather than focusing on the excessive enforcement of harsh discipline on students, schools should utilize education to guide students towards obtaining successful occupations and living valuable lives lived with purpose. In my article, I gave reasons which supported my idea of cutting the funding for private prisons. I included a few examples as to why I believe this action should be taken, including reasons such as how schools and prisons compete for the same government-issued funds, which would ultimately lower the quality of school education, as well as the fact that it causes low-quality school systems to predestine a life of crime for the students within the institution by not being able to provide them with the proper education. This leads to many students entering the criminal justice system as a result of which, as you can see, it's sort of like a domino effect where one thing leads to another. So if you still think that it's a bad idea to prioritize funds for schools instead of prisons, think about the fact that the students that are going to prisons today will be the future leaders of America tomorrow. Thank you all for taking the time of your day to be here. A special thanks to the awesome team who put together this thriving magazine, and congratulations to all the published authors in the audience. Thank you.
I will.
It's getting less fun to put it on
I
every
know.
time.
That's okay.
Alrighty, and those were our first through third place winners, and we had one honorable mention in the nonfiction category. We had non-compliant patients in clinical pharmacy, which I really enjoyed this paper. I think it gave a really broad look on a lot of the problems that go on within clinical pharmacy, and it also entailed a lot of visuals such as graphs, and it really included a lot of statistics and data, and I really appreciated some of the perspective and the way it really guided the reader throughout the paper, and it was a really easy and enjoyable read. So I would like to bring Isaac Ludd up here to accept his award.
Okay,
Alrighty.
let's give him a round
Round of applause.
I'll hold that for you. Oh, wait, please. Oh, hey. Up next is the poetry department. Ready to do this poetry department, or you can hold on to it if you want, or I can stand there, or we can put it on the podium. You can put it on the podium over there, and you can just stand very still. Like, yeah, just let it.
I'm sorry. I know it's a little bit cold. I know. I'm so sorry. Do you need?
Do you want it clipped like right here, or do you?
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
All right. Here, I'm gonna put on your collar right there. Is that cool? Does that look fun?
I would do it the other way. Hold
The
on.
other way, yeah. So you're the professional here.
We're getting it together, guys. Don't worry about us. It's coming together nicely. All right, perfect.
Oh, she's all twisted. We're all good. All right. Let's get this rolling. Oh, actually, let me just stay right here. Okay. I'll just hold on to it. Yeah. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Kendall Helfer. I am one of the poetry editors of the Wake Review literary magazine. Unfortunately, our other poetry editor, Courtney Grace, was unable to attend this wonderful event to honor the hard work and dedication of the Wake Review staff and all the submission authors in putting everything together. But today I'll be speaking on behalf of both of us when I say that we are here to celebrate writers that are truly one of a kind. I'm so thankful to have an opportunity to work with these lovely people, and I can't wait to see what's in store for the future. I hope you all enjoy these wonderful poems. So our first honorable mention, Blink First, is a grisly and honest depiction of falling out between friends, where once their best features have now become the worst through the poem's sharp and vivid imagery. Congratulations, Tess. You can come up here. My cat thinks I'm cool helps us to remind us of simpler things in life while struggling in a difficult time. Throughout the poem, there are many instances of self-reflection that others can relate to. Congratulations, Atari. Would you want to read? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Let me just. Okay. Hi, I'm Atari. I wrote this poem about my cat. I love her so much. She could not be here today. Unfortunately, she is a cat. I'm not the person I was 5 years ago. I don't draw anymore, don't read. I'm watching my shows again, grasping onto old threads and hoping to find a new me. I'm sewing together pieces, mending the holes and trying, and failing and tying knots. That kid and I are nothing alike. My healing is a roller coaster. I'm not me anymore, but a shell. I'm trying to fill myself up. I'm trying so hard, it's hard. But my cat still thinks I'm cool. I have the same heart, gentle touch, the same fuzzy blankets at night, and tummy to lay her head. I'm not me, but I am enough. While Lungs may be one of our shorter poems, it's gun-wrenching nonetheless, with claustrophobic language and morose tone. Congratulations, Marissa. Okay, round of applause for the live stream. Another poem by an author you're already familiar with. Sever asks if you ever longed for someone, even if they're physically here, a part of that connection is lost. This violent devotion is only amplified through the poem's clever and gruesome imagery. Congrats again, Tess. Oh, let me make sure I give you the right one. Oh, hang on.
The last one, I promise. Thanks.
All right.
Our other poet of the hour. Id and Ego and the young vampire truly is unique. In this witty back and forth, the characters/psychology concepts of id and ego discuss morality, guilt, and what it really means to be human. Again, round of applause for Marissa. This piece was written by one of our own staff members. Soul Catching Blues is a deeply romantic and tragic tale. The poem muses about a soulmate creating an almost fairy tale-like image. This ethereal image quickly shifts as through the writer's unique sense of tone gradually shifts back to reality. Congrats, Trisha. Make sure I give you the right one. Yep, okay. Okay, let's...
Sorry.
Right. No, you can go. And I think actually I have this in the wrong order, so make sure that Tari gets that.
No problem. This one. Hi everybody, I'm sure you're familiar with me by now, but I'm Trisha. I'm a science student here at Wake Tech. I plan on transferring and majoring in biology, but in my spare time I really enjoy literature, and poetry is something that I have fell in love with, so I'm really excited to share one of my poems with you guys today. This one is called Soul Catching Blues. My soulmate is a sun catcher, delicate glass, thinned twine, glistening shades of blue, stolen rays of light, soothe pale skin, touching porcelain insides. My suncatcher will be like no other. Mine will sparkle in the dawn, beam while facing the moon. Endure my insomnia of sorrows, still stand after fortified winds. Trust there will be no comfort taken of another lover, because I'm only content under the same sky where my suncatcher thrives, making my air my perfect color. My suncatcher admires only my decay, taking in every ounce of my beauty while I exalt shades of blue.
Now, for third place, this writer is certainly a master at his craft. Inheritance takes us on a journey through its use of alternating dialogue, onomatopoeia, and vivid imagery. This poem allows the reader to witness the inheritance of generational trauma in the collapsing world around us. A round of applause for Brendan, who unfortunately cannot attend. For second place, this poem in particular stuck out to me. It masterfully uses personification to write time as a tragic figure that works day in and day out, waiting for the inevitable. Time Hurts is a beautiful tale crafted in sorrow. Congratulations once again, Marissa. And now for first place, Bedside Manor is a poem like nothing else we've ever read. With its use of earnest imagery and cutthroat structure, this poem packs quite a punch. But none of that would have the same impact without the beating heart of the poem as people come together to overcome a difficult time. Congratulations, Tess. Are you gonna?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't actually think it works. Oh, sorry. This is Bedside Manor. My mother's family sits at bedsides. Receivers of flowers and well wishes, we convene, a council of errand runners and small talkers. It's important that the talk is always small. The room is made crowded by our bodies, and the sickness takes up space. Earnest words have nowhere to go, bumping awkwardly against jaw and wrist bone. Sit in the habitual sense. We are made for bedsides. Pragmatists at heart, absence becomes its own presence. The call starts with "I have bad news" and ends with scalpels being drawn. Forming perfect skeletal bodies, we cut our tongues, speech stilted. We cut our hands, fitting only around pots, pans, and dog leashes. Nerves are struck often. Their hollow melody reverberates for hours against the rafters.
Hi. So I just wanted to reiterate, in case you guys weren't aware, the winners will be receiving their checks in the mail this year. So those will be coming to you. Don't worry, we didn't forget. You don't just get this recognition, but you also get your award. I know that's the important thing. And I'll hand it off to Trisha to say goodbye to you all. And good luck with everything, whether you're coming back or whether you're moving on. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We've enjoyed it.
Hi everybody. So this is the last time you're gonna have to hear me speak today. So I would just like to thank everybody for coming out, whether you were published, whether you're here supporting somebody, whether you would like to publish next year. We encourage everybody to submit something, even if you might not think that it will be published. We look at everything, we go through everything, and we appreciate everybody's creativity and the diversity that we see within this organization. There was something else important that I was supposed to say. I'm kind of blanking on. Yes, and we are also looking for people to join us in this club. We're looking for friendly faces. We're looking for people to, help us pick the next, publish the next things in this magazine. So we would love to see some of your faces in some of our meetings and things like that. So we welcome you, and we appreciate everybody coming today. Give yourselves a round of applause, because this could not have happened without any of you today. Oh yes, please go eat.
Thanks, everyone.
Do I give this back to him, or is this ours? Okay.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you so much for helping us today.